Hello, my name is Myra Minta, and I'm currently a student here at the University of Delaware, majoring in biology. My obscure but phenomenal moment in African American history begins here in Christiana, Delaware, on February 8, 1831, when a young girl named Rebecca Lee Crumpler was born. Who knew that one day she would become the first African American woman to become a physician, opening so many doors for young African American women like me. So sit back and enjoy this skit on her journey to making history. I wasn't raised by my parents, but I'm sure it was with good reason. I was fortunate enough to be born a free woman and raised by my aunt in Pennsylvania. Growing up, I watched my aunt help others around our community, and I knew it was what I wanted to do. Without my aunt, my interest in helping relieve others of their suffering at every chance that I got would have never begun. When I was 21, I decided to move to Charleston, Massachusetts, where I met my late husband, Wyatt Lee. For the next 8 years, I worked as a nurse. As an African American, it was very hard for me to find doctors who were willing to work with me and help me gain the experience that I needed. But when I did get the chance to work with the doctors, I made sure to show that I was dedicated to helping people who were suffering. Lucky for me, one of those doctors saw my potential and wrote a commending recommendation letter to the faculty at the first institution to award women with MDs, New England Female Medical College. Before I knew it, I was attending New England Female Medical College with a scholarship fund by abolitionist Benjamin Wade. It was loads of rigorous work, always getting stares from fellow classmates because they were so shocked to see an African American in the same room as them trying to reach the same goal. I constantly got unfair treatment from professors, but that didn't stop me. It only made me want it more. Unfortunately, after 2 years, my husband Wyatt got really sick. I had to take a 7-month leave to take care of him. He later died of tuberculosis. When I tried to rejoin the class, there was tons of arguments. They didn't believe that I was dedicated to it. But lucky for me, there was another abolitionist on board. On March 1st, I received a doctorate of medicine from the New England Female Medical College. I then moved to Richmond, Virginia after the Civil War ended in 1865. I met my husband, Arthur Crumpler, who served in the Union Army during the Civil War. I continued my practice with the Freedmen's Bureau and different charities, missionaries, and other formerly enslaved men, women, and children. Most of my patients didn't have any access to medical care beyond the Freedmen's Bureau, and a lot of volunteers were willing to provide due to the lack of resources, poverty, and racism. Even though I was a qualified physician, I still didn't receive the respect that I deserved, and pharmacists would refuse to give me my prescriptions that I needed for my patients, which made it very difficult to treat them, but I did the best that I could. In 1880, I decided to retire and moved back to Boston, Massachusetts, in Hyde Park neighborhood. 3 years later, I decided to gather all my notes throughout the year's practice and wrote a book called A Book of Medical Discourses.